Thank you so much, first of all, for having me today. I so appreciate you considering me for your podcast. I'm Alisarayford, and I'm an agent in Atlanta. I am on the ALC in my office. I've been a KW agent for about 5 years now. I think it will be year 5 for me. I'm a big fan of the culture of what KW is. I am an entrepreneur. I have a golf business that I enjoy, which is a whole story on its own. But I love real estate, and I certainly love having conversations with other agents.
And so, you know what? Let's just, I think the monkey in the room or the elephant in the room is your golf business. And so I want to jump right into that briefly. How did that start and what is it all about? Because is there just a love for the sport or is there a love for the fashion? Because I think I see both. So talk to me.
A little bit of both. To kind of give you an idea of how it all started, a couple years ago when I turned 50 during COVID, I didn't want to I couldn't have a party or anything like that to celebrate the big 50. So I decided to create a bucket list. And one of the things on my bucket list was to play at TPC Sawgrass, which actually happened this past weekend. And I was struggling to find clothes or fashion that fit me. And so I managed to find something, but necessarily what I wanted for this big event for me. And I had an opportunity. So I managed to find something. So again, another opportunity to go play at Silverado that same year. And I'm like, I can't be the only one that has this issue. And since entrepreneurship is about solving a problem, I set about to uh, start a business that kind of catered to golf wear, golf fashion, and plus size women. So that's how it kind of came about. So you get a little bit of both.
So how's your golf game?
We play for fun. I'm
Okay.
clearly not a pro.
Well, I can tell you, and again, I like and comment a lot, but I know we've got so many people who are on the outside who don't. And so I think it's the reason why we need to be careful because there's so many people who are watching who never respond. Because I've watched and I've liked and I've responded. And let me just tell you, sweetheart, uh, it's fly to use an old term, right? So you're like, oh, Ben, he must be old school. And I am.
I am
But
too.
the outfits are fly. They're fire, like the kids say. And so I'm so thrilled. And I hope that you'll continue to find your audience there. And I know that you will, because it is everything I see is so tight and it's so professional. So I applaud you there. So tell me, how has that helped your real estate business?
It definitely has helped my real estate business. I have been able to make really awesome connections. One of my golf customers, clients, Charlize, is actually on here. And she's a KW agent, and I've had the opportunity to have conversations with her about the golf fashion and about real estate. So it's definitely about the relationship and having somebody and people here who are here to support me, not just in golf business, but also in real estate. So I
Yeah.
love it.
So, and so social media, I'm sure as you use that, because I got the feeling that your business, that's one of the main pillars of your business. Am I correct in assuming that? And
That's
what
correct.
does it look like for you?
So years ago, when I first started at Keller Williams, not long after I had a coach, and I remember saying to my coach, I want to sell real estate sitting behind my desk, right? I'm an introvert. I didn't really want to be with people, in that way. So this is how I want to sell real estate. Of course, that didn't go over well with my coach, right? But I actually started because this was a place that was comfortable for me. And as I have gone through real estate, my real estate journey, I really have had to do things that are outside of my comfort zone because I thought I was taking an easy path, just doing it through social media and selling real estate behind my computer. But that's truly not the case. So social is definitely about being social and having, conversations with people, especially strangers, because there's so many people, on social media that we interact with.
So as we're sitting here and I think we were eating fried chicken, right?
Yep.
At the restaurant there in Austin. I did. I got the sense that yeah, you weren't necessarily the social butterfly, but again, I think the point is clear though. There's so many unique ways to do this business, right? And find your audience, and you clearly have. So again, I applaud you there. What does from a social media strategically, what does that look like? Are you strategic in making sure that you're posting every day, every week? What does that routine look like? Because I think so many of us, me included, I struggle with consistency there and finding an audience. And do you also track? Because Christina, my right hand here, knows that, and you guys can help me. There's three metrics that I'm tracking this year. One is new additions to my database. Uh, Two is reviews, and I've got to get my reviews up to 200. So you guys, some of you guys can probably help. And Christina, what's the third one? Uh, oh, my subscribers to my YouTube channel. Are those things that are you aware of those numbers and what do they look like? And do you track them? And what do you do to again push the numbers up? What do you do?
Absolutely. So first of all, I have a virtual assistant who is awesome and amazing. She is the true queen of what happens on my social media. She helps keep me consistent. We track what types of content does do well. We have a schedule of what we post on every single day of the week. There is a schedule. It's very, very routine. We post the same things every week, just in a different way. What you see probably the most for those people who may follow me is what you see the most is Mansion Monday. So that has become kind of our staple thing. But on Tuesday, it's some type of a carousel, and then it's a reel, possibly on Wednesday, or a new listing, or an upcoming listing, or a sale. Like we sprinkle all of that in, but there is something that is intentional every day. I am very big on education, so there is always going to be something every week about education on my social platforms. Um, and we look at color, we look at font, we look at all of the things that people respond to, and we look at that on a regular basis. And we make the necessary changes because it's always changing with the algorithms, what to see what actually is working from us for us. We look at what does really well, and we try to do obviously more of what is doing what does very well. What are people responding to? We look at how many this year. The thing that we started tracking, especially on Instagram, is um, not so much how many likes, how many new followers that we're attracting. People who are not following us, or I'm not following. Who's new, who's sharing, and who's saving. Not necessarily who's commenting, because we're all looking, right, at somebody else's social media, but are we actually engaging in the post? So we're looking at who is actually engaging, because that's how we wanted to grow our following. We want it to be organic. So we're talking to our people who want to hear from us. And are they saving the content to go back and access later?
What do those numbers look like for you? You
They
know?
vary.
Yeah.
And they vary depending on the topic. Um, for buyers, I find that people are most interested in the process. And so we really focus on that when it comes to our buyers. With sellers that we see or that we get conversation with, from our social media. It again, it's also about process. How long does it take? I think people tend to think it's a little bit longer than what it actually is. So it's just being the resource to answer those questions whenever they do. So I started a YouTube channel as well, and that's been different to say the least. But it came about because I wanted to do more video this year. This was me getting outside of my comfort zone, me kicking myself outside of my comfort zone because the introvert in me doesn't want to be in front of the computer, right? But what we also implemented was we're doing the 12-week year. So we are really focused, and we were focusing on our social media and the matrix that I just mentioned. And the YouTube channel really just became a byproduct of that, of us doing the video. Well, since we're doing it, we might as well kind of push it over there. And we just started adding to it from there. Our biggest thing, though, is bringing more people into our process.
Do you have any idea how many followers that you have on either Instagram or YouTube? Do you have any idea?
So on Instagram, because like I said, it's very new. On Instagram, we're just under 4,000 followers. We've added a little over 200 followers since December, and now of non-followers. So it's a slow process, and I'm
Yep,
okay with that because I don't believe that you have to have a big following in order to get business from social media.
I agree. I agree. Well, keep doing the darn thing because again, I'm impressed. So, um, you had mentioned your mansion Mondays because we do Millionaire Mondays, and for the folks that are here, um, I'm shameless plug because I've told Christina and I'd mentioned it months ago. In light of our Millionaire Mondays or your Mansion Mondays, if you have um, a high-end property, I'd say something that's $1 million, and I've seen some of yours, send them to me so that because now I'm wanting to showcase with my family members properties all over the country. And instead of just posting one property, a luxury property around the country, I want to do multiple. And I want to make sure that I'm showcasing other family members like you. So something in Atlanta, if I see I've got someone on here from Kansas. I've got someone on here from California. If you've got something that's $1 million plus, send it to Ben Baker, Ben Baker at KW. That's the easiest email you'll find. Ben Baker at KW, because I want to make sure that we start uh, focusing and highlighting that also, and really being a resource also in extra promotion. There's nothing wrong with that. So keep doing it. And if you got something really nice, send it to me. Mike, also a shameless plug, brother. I'd love for you to join us in the coming weeks or months because you've got so much to say. So keep that in mind. And finally, let me ask you about your coaching through Maxwell, because I don't know many people. I've heard of a number of folks who utilize that system and/or tool. Has that really benefited you, and what does that look like?
I think it's benefited me just in the way that I talk to agents in my office. I think it has had an impact on the way that I structure a class that I may be teaching in my market center. When I first got my license, my coach at the time was a John Maxwell coach. And I always wanted to get into coaching. And so with him, it was kind of a natural path for me. And just learning the techniques and things like that was just really helpful. And I thought I was going to get in, I would use it really more for real estate and with new agents in particular, because I had taught Ignite a couple of times in my office. And so I thought it would be a benefit to me in that way. And so as I started kind of going through the process and trying to figure out what I wanted to do from a class perspective, what kind of training I wanted to offer specifically, what I wanted the audience of people to look like, I decided that it wasn't going to be just real estate. I heard something and it was like, I feel like when I get ready to truly dive into it, it's really not going to be limited to just real estate. It's really going to be more about women in business and how they need to, how mindset is important in the process, because I know it is for me. I can get inside of my own head sometimes, just in the worst kinds of ways. And so making sure that I'm teaching and coaching people in business in general how to walk through that process.
Is that where the cereal comes from?
Yes.
Because I think it's kind of a buzzword now. I see so many folks that are like they're serial entrepreneurs, which I think simply means that they're looking for opportunities anywhere, not just in the real estate space. Right?
Absolutely.
You would agree with that?
I totally agree.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, let me ask you this, because again, we're all family here, and we're just now finishing the first 12 weeks, which I measure and run things off the 12-week period. What do your first 12 weeks look like, and how are you pacing? And are you a goal setter for your business, and what does that look like?
Very much so. I believe fully in the 135. I do a 411 every week. I have accountability partner that I do a Zoom call with every Monday at 9:30, and we go through our 411 for the week. And she holds me, she's my friend, but she also holds me accountable to my 411. So it's not, just an easy kind of thing. And I'm really very intentional about my goals. I don't always hit my goals, right? But I'm always working. My mantra is to continue to move your feet, regardless of how heavy your feet may feel. And I really, really live by that. Especially when it comes to my business. But I will tell you the biggest benefit for me in doing the 12 weeks, because it's the first time I've done it. It has been, and my 12 weeks started in December. So from December to February, it made me so focused. It took away all of the shiny objects. It took away all of the noise, because these were the things that my virtual assistant and my client success manager and I was focusing on. And we stayed focusing on those things. She was bought in. She knew exactly what we were doing. And we could go, it made it easier for us to track the things that we needed to track. So I'm a big fan of that.
There you go. And I've said it forever. Again, if I can digest it in bite-sized morsels, I can handle it, right? Eating the whole elephant, too daunting a task. So, and I think that's the real benefit of the 12-week year. And so we're just now finishing, and my coach is excited because I'm really pacing toward my goal for the first 12 weeks. I think that we really, really, really need to front load things in light of the major changes that we see happening and coming in front of us. So I think that's good advice for everybody. Let's front load as best we can. Again, I think that we can focus this next 12 weeks, April, May, and June. Again, mine started January, yours started in December. So it doesn't matter when you start, but we need to start and start quickly and aggressively, I believe. So thank you. Let me ask you one more question. Give me something that that I didn't learn about you eating chicken there in Austin, that most folks wouldn't know about you. Give me something. Give me some meat.
Hmm. I've already said that I'm an introvert, so I think people would know that. I think if you follow me on social media, you know that I'm a Nana. And being Nana is the best thing in the world to me, with my little people. Um, and it is such a different kind of love, for my little people. And I think a lot of people are surprised when they find out that I'm a grandmother.
Well,
We,
again, doesn't surprise me. So,
we
Christina,
actually
you're
have
kind of,
clients questions in the chat. So Christina was wondering first, why did you start your 12-week year in December? And then if you could also share some more information about your clothing line.
So I started in December for my 12-week year because, my year would end, my 12 weeks of production with things that would close, if you will, would happen in January, would happen in December. And so if I started my year early, the hope would be that I would be ahead of the process, ready for things, the spring market and things of that nature. And then everything that I have under contract in November. So I'm not trying to get everything under contract in November, in December. I'm trying to get everything done to finish out my numbers in November, as opposed to December for a January number. So if anything happens in December, that's great. That's less gravy. But the goal was to have all as much as I could have under contract by November the 30th. So that's why I picked that number. And for me, historically, the fourth quarter of the year has always been my best. So for me, that just made sense. I know that's kind of crazy. Consider most people do their best in the summer. I don't know why I don't, but historically, when I look at my reports, my trending reports in KW, it's always the fourth quarter of the year, consistently over the last 5 years. I have no idea I often wonder, am I being lazy during the summer when everybody else is working and just working when everybody else is not working? I have no idea what that's all about. For my golf business, the website is asilagolf.com. It's my name backwards, ASILA golf.com. And we sell skirts and shirts, dresses for golf, but they also, if you play tennis, it's a good option for that. But it's activewear. Golf wear is activewear. You can wear it anywhere, whether you are in the grocery store, whether you're going just to hang out with friends, to have a cup of coffee, whatever it is, golf wear is activewear.